Welcome to Osseo High School for Northwest Suburban Conference Wrestling. It's part of a quad meet, and we'll have the first match for you here on 12 Sports tonight as Osseo and Maple Grove go head-to-head on the mat. Hi, I'm Jay Wilcox along with Chad Liners. And Chad, unfortunately, we aren't going to see probably the full-scale lineups that these teams will hopefully have by section time. The injuries and other things have hit them both a little bit here, so a little bit of lineup shuffling going on at this point in the season.
Yeah, we've got a little shuffling going on both teams tonight. It's an inter-district matchup between Maple Grove and Osseo, and right out of the chute, as you get into some of the lightweights, I think you're going to see some bouncing back and forth between the two teams as people are trying to adjust and see if they can put a full squad together and be competitive to compete against each other. So it should be fun, but I think we're going to see some adjustments as the night goes on, as people are trying to fill their lineups and not give up any forfeits for 6 points right out of the chute.
As you well know, of course, and Coach Alan Wiley telling us from Osseo, just unbelievable bug of injuries that has hit in recent weeks. And on the one hand, it gives some other guys a chance to step up, get some experience, but obviously in terms of your overall team strength, it can't be a help for them right now.
Yeah, Osseo coming on this year opened up with a real nice lineup to start the season out, and as we got in 2, 3, 4 matches, the injuries started hitting. We've seen some elbow injuries, some ankle injuries, and so right now the younger guys are stepping up. They're getting some experience on the mat, and they're ready to go out and battle against Maple Grove tonight.
I think we saw, to start the season, the potential of both of these teams. Right here at the Drug-Miller Invitational, Osseo winning by a couple points over Maple Grove. It does kind of tell you that there's definitely some possibilities for both these clubs.
You know, both Maple Grove and Osseo have got some awesome wrestlers. When they bring their varsity lineups out, they can bring a full team that can really scramble and grapple. But right now they're going to have to work hard. At the Invitational, yes, it was a 2-point tournament difference. Starting right at 106 pounds, you're going to see a couple great wrestlers out on the mat with Emily Shilson and Nick Carline, and all the way through the middle lineup, you're going to see a real nice battle.
All right, should be an interesting one. Osseo came up with a big win over Maple Grove a season ago in their dual match. Maple Grove had kind of had the better of things in previous years right before that. We'll see who comes out on top here in the 2013-2014 season. It's the Crimson and the Orioles wrestling action next on 12 Sports. All right.
Thank you.
Think you found every hazard out here today? Think again. The spot you missed could be a killer. That spot on your skin could be skin cancer. If you're a man over 50, you're in a group most likely to develop skin cancer, including melanoma, the kind that kills one person every hour. That's why your best shot is to check for a spot. It's easy. Follow through and check your skin. Go to spotskincancer.org to find out how. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
And welcome back here to Osseo High School. You'll see formats are all in action. We're going to be concentrating on the one to the lower left, the Osseo Maple Grove varsity matchup, of course, here, as the teams will also be taking on Roseville here this evening and Spring Lake Park, part of this quad meet. And we'll see how things get started off early on here for the Orioles and the Crimson at 106. Got young wrestlers, as you expect, looking like they'll be lining up in these lower couple weights.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a real nice matchup right out of the chute. It looks like Osseo has checked their guy in, and it's going to be Nick Carline. He's a 9th grader. And we're waiting for Maple Grove, and my guess is it's going to be Emily Shilson, who's a 7th grader.
Maple Grove has a very highly ranked, in fact, top-ranked wrestler in the lighter weights, Brad Osachuk, but he has been battling an injury. He did weigh in tonight, but our impression is that we more than likely are not going to see him in their varsity lineup, but they at least left it as an option.
Yeah, Brad's a great little wrestler, and if he could make the lineup, he sure would. We'll see what's going on here. Looks like Carline's coming out to the mat, and he's ready to roll. Shilson's getting ready. He's starting at 106 pounds tonight.
Carline's 10-5 this season, and he was 4th in the 9th grade state tournament a year ago.
Both Nick and Emily come through the Osseo Maple Grove Youth Wrestling program, and so this should be a great matchup here. So here we go. It's a quick tie-up.
Quick takedown there by Carline for Osseo.
Carline just had a nice little duck under there and brought Shilson right down to the mat, and a quick start, 15 seconds into the match. He's working a little cross-face armbar. Now moves it over to a half, trying to get something going on top. Shilson works her way up to her base. Got a little armbar half that falls apart for him there. He's got a deep waist, can't get much going on. Emily's holding her base real well. Tries back on the armbar half here, doesn't have it broke down, so it's probably a little tough to tilt at this point.
Followed a similar pattern right after that takedown. Been unable to get a turn, and Shilson's kept a good job keeping her base, but hasn't been able to get up and out. So a lot of riding time here in this period. But no further scoring, at least yet, for Carline. Going to work that arm and just popped free.
Got her broken back down, and she comes right back up. Both Carline and Shilson, I think, weigh a little bit under the 106 pounds, so this is a great matchup here. Both got a lot of mat time experience. Both of them, as younger kids, love to travel around the country and wrestle. And we're seeing the battle start here in the first period.
Yeah, the Crimson coaches tell us, in fact, that Emily is just over the minimum weight of 91 pounds. So, you know, obviously, Chad, not exactly unheard of to see female wrestlers, but not still extremely common, and, you know, kind of an interesting thing to see with the Crimson.
Not real common, but it's a great feat, and she definitely fills the shoes well for a 106-pounder from Maple Grove. She's one tough girl and has had a lot of success.
Carline starting in the down position, looking for a quick switch, and he will get the reversal.
Quickly goes to an ankle and tries to break her down, and now moving back to deep waist, looking for a half to tilt her. This is Emily's first year on varsity here, and I think she's off to a fairly good start. Nick had some experience last year out on the mat wrestling varsity, and they both continue to grow and develop.
Shilson 1-3 so far this year, but definitely they, you know, consider her very skilled, like you said, very experienced wrestler. Shilson briefly to her feet, but Carline able to bring her back down.
Not much happening here. She works a quick reversal.
And there's two. Shilson's on the board.
Trying to keep control right now. Nick's kind of tripod out of it and gets control of a leg and brings it back into a stand-up position here. We'll see if he can get a reversal back.
Trying to drive forward with that shoulder and get her hip to the mat. If he pops his head out, he should have 2, and there it is.
There's 2, and quickly puts the half Nelson back in. Working the edge of the mat here right now, trying to get a tilt, looking for some near fall points.
Down to 10 seconds to go. Carline like to score late and also not like to give up anything late.
There's a lot of strategy that goes on a match like this when you're in a 4-point match, 4 seconds to go. Nick jumps on from the right side and the whistle goes and quickly puts her to her back and gets a 2-point near fall.
Shilson trying to sit out kind of helped actually Carline to get those points. So you hate to give those up late. You love to get them late if you're Carline, and those could be 2 very valuable points. So you'll have an 8-2 lead heading to the 3rd.
Carline's down here, goes in the down position. Emily Shilson jumps on from the right side. He tries a quick switch and may look like a quick reversal, and quickly to her back Shilson goes for near fall points.
2 reversal and 2 near fall, so up to a 10-point lead here. He's got a major decision at this point, but a lot of match to go here just early in the 3rd.
He's got his left leg hooked in right now and looks for a banana split, looking for some near fall points.
Carline trying to make sure he stays busy. I thought he got, when he had that early takedown, that he got a little stagnant on top, and trying to at least change some pressure and keep the pressure on Emily here.
He's moving a little bit harder here in the end of the 3rd period, able to keep her down on the mat, where in the 1st and 2nd period, Emily was able to get up to her base and try and make something happen. So going into the 3rd here, he's been able to break her down, but she does come back up. He tries to go with the armbar half, and he hasn't had a whole lot of success with this, but he's sticking with it. Shilson's done a nice job staying in the match here. She's going to have to throw something big from the bottom to see if she can eliminate this major decision by Carline.
Down to 25 seconds to go in the 3rd, and they're going to spill off the edge here. Yeah, even a reversal here would leave it still at a major, so she does need to score more than once.
He goes right back to the armbar half, and struggling to tilt her. Emily's done a fabulous job of staying out of trouble, yet hasn't been able to get a whole lot of offense going.
So Carline is going to win the match by a 12-2 major decision for Osseo to get things started out here. So look at Carline. There's Shilson's lone points there.
And we're looking to get the guys back out on the mat here at 113 pounds. And
Nick Bagaski will go for Maple Grove. See who Osseo will check in.
And this is Mitch Lewison for the Orioles. We've got a couple freshmen coming out to the mat.
Nick, a first-year wrestler. This is normally a spot where we might have seen Brad Osachek, and it doesn't take long for Mitch Lewison to get the quick takedown here. He is won 22 matches last year, was 3rd in section, so he's obviously got more experience really out there than Nick. So this is one that Osseo probably on paper expects to get coming in.
Lewison comes out and throws quick firemen's, and he quickly tries that armbar half for a tilt, and it looks like it could go over right here. counting near fall points.
Grasky trying to bridge, but he's in trouble early. And he's going to roll through. Get 3 near fall for Lewison. And he'll maintain control, so no further scoring there, and we'll stay at 5-0.
Wilson's off to a great start this year. He started off the season, he's 9-4. He's placed at in the championship match at the Osseo tourney, and last week they were out in Eau Claire and did a nice job there, finishing up 3rd place. And he quickly puts Bogowski back to his back with an armbar half, and the refs counting near fall points, looking for a pin at this point.
Still got some time too, and he's going to get it with 40 seconds left. So 1:20 in. Mitchell Lewison of Osseo scoring the fall here for the Orioles as they get off to a good start here.
That's a good match for Nick, or that's a good match for Mitchell there. He came out and got the quick takedown and stayed aggressive and was able to put Bogowski to his back for the fall.
And we're going to 1:20 here now, and some discussion about who weighed in where. Jake Murphy from Maple Grove.
He's coming out against Dakota Aiken from Osseo, so both are dropping down into the 120 lineup.
So we got a Dakota Aiken for Osseo, Jake Murphy for Maple Grove here at 120.
Murphy works for a quick takedown, 2 points in the first 15 seconds, and is able to break Aiken down and trying to work something with the arms.
Murphy, the freshman, has Aiken near fall points now being counted. And he's got him in some trouble here, and a lot of time to go too.
He's got a lot of time. He's got an iron bar in right now and working for the fall.
Just trying to not lose any of that grip, but keep the pressure going back, and now he's going to get the fall. So Murphy gets Maple Grove on the board in a big way here as he gets the pin at 106. So definitely a pin that they like to get as a cup battle of kind of a couple of not real experienced guys. So Murphy coming up big there for the Crimson. We will go to 126.
126, and it looks like we've got a shift of both 120-pounders bouncing up. So this is Tyler Shilson for Maple Grove Crimson and Adam Lanners for the Orioles. Shilson shoots quick and Lanners sprawls. This could be a great match right here tonight.
Shilson 10-3 this year. He was all conference at 106. A year ago, and Lanners was 5th in the section last year. 7 wins, 8 losses so far this year.
Lanners attempts a fireman's. Doesn't have much going on there. Both looking for a little control. They met earlier this year at the Osseo Invite, and it was a great match. Lanners come out early and took him down, and so Shilson proceeded to get some near fall points throughout the match, but it was a great match throughout the lineup, and see how this one plays out.
Halfway through the first period now. Shilson with that 2-0 lead.
He's working the arm bar here, looking for a tilt. He's got a nice little tilt that he rolls off of this. Let's see if he can execute it. And there it comes. No back fall points, it's just a roll through there. Hooking a leg and looking for a Turk here at the edge of the mat, trying to score some points.
Under 10 to go in the period here. Lanner's able to fight off any near fall.
Works up to his base, and they come to the end of the first period here.
Unfortunately, we won't get the chance to see your older son, Andrew, in action tonight. He's one of the walking wounded for the Orioles, right?
Yeah, he had an injury last week out against the Andover Huskies. He was in the first 10 seconds of the match, and they went off, and he hurt his elbow. So they're hoping for a quick recovery, and we'll see what happens as he comes out. But unfortunate, he is out of lineup tonight. He's certainly somebody that everybody likes to watch and is exciting, and it certainly could have been a great matchup at 170 tonight. So as the match goes on, we'll see how it adjusts and who they bring the match. Shilson tries a little duck under and shifts, and he gets his 2-point reversal there. He now leads 4-0 with 1:25. And he's going to let him up and see if he can come back and get a takedown. Both these guys are fairly good on their feet, so we'll see what happens here.
Shilson trying to step around and see if he can chalk up two more, and he's got it.
Two, and working on trying to hook up an inside cradle at this point. This will be a matchup I'm assuming Maple Grove is hoping to get more than a decision out of. And right now, struggling to get something going from the top, and then there's wrestling defensively. Shilson tries to hook up that inside cradle again. He comes back to maybe a neutral position. He's got the arm in control. They come up, and he's got an escape here. Shilson quickly back in with a single leg.
They're going to get off the edge here with just 18 seconds to go here in the period, and Shilson controlling. They'll go both up here, and could be a crucial end of the period situation here as he shoots in low.
Shoots in, tries to get a single. Landers tries to sprawl and gives it up with 5 seconds to go there. And goes to his belly. Stay in the match, he's going to have to make something happen from the bottom here. Lanner's choice, he chooses down. Shilson's going to give him one and started in a neutral position. He's working towards trying to get a major here, see if he can make something happen for the Crimson.
Trying to work off that head and countered pretty effectively, at least initially, but now it looks like he is going to get around.
He's been able to bring Landers down right to his belly and drive that near side cradle, and he's going to tilt him here possibly, so he's got a quick takedown in the third period.
A little bit of a kind of a wait and see thing for Shilson here. I mean, do you go for the fall right away, or do you try and rack up a couple more takedowns?
I'm not sure he's going to get a fall out of this scenario here, but he's going to sure try and rack up the points, I'm assuming. And they go off the edge of the mat.
Gives up the 1 point there, so 10-4, and Shilson trying to make sure it's at least a major here.
Goes for a front headlock. Landers goes to his belly. Shilson quickly around. 4-2. Looks like Lanner's trying to have a little arm control to stay in the mat so this thing doesn't get too far away. And he gets an escape. And Shilson does the same as he's done throughout the match here. It's just a little quick pop, brings Landers to the mat, and
takedown there for Shilson, 14-5. Now down to about 20, so the strategy becomes a little different here. You don't really want to cut him, I don't think.
Well, he's got his 8-point lead, and probably look for a quick tilt here in the last 10 seconds if he can get it.
And looks like we're not going to have any further scoring, so Shilson is going to end up winning it. Major decision at 14-5 for the Crimson. Oh, a little bad blood at the end there.
Yeah, Shilson sometimes struggles when he doesn't get his way out there, and looks like he's settled down.
So official will raise a hand. Neither guy all that thrilled with things way there, but Shilson will end up with the victory. And so we'll get a 10-10 team score here.
This is Theo G for Maple Grove out here against Ryan Swenson at 132 pounds.
Swenson fourth in the section last year. He won 22 matches a year ago, and G was kind of a surprise guy to go into that state tournament a year ago for Maple Grove. He didn't have a lot of experience, but he's got a lot of moves out there, and he ended up placing second in the sections last year to qualify for state.
Yeah, he had a real nice surprise. He came out and wrestled aggressively in that section tournament, and was able to get himself in the running over there, and he's a fun wrestler to watch. He's good aggressive, he's strong, and Swenson as a senior, he's just got a couple years of wrestling under his belt. I'm expecting this to be one of the nice matchups of the night right here.
Yeah, we were trying to get a feel a little bit from talking with the coaches, and they said, to a large extent, because of the injuries and other things where guys weren't in the lineup, to a large extent you might see some mismatches where you had experienced guys against not experienced guys, so there aren't going to be that many necessarily that have two guys who are, very veteran, and this is not quite one of those, but a pretty good one, as G got the takedown and then Swenson the escape.
They're back at neutral here, and both of them are bringing their physicalness to the match here. We'll see how we play out.
And we get a warning to both benches here. Guys, we're both getting a little physical. I think the match heating up a little bit, and now it looks like we have a cut alongside the eye of Swenson. Wonder if they had a little clash of heads there.
I'm not sure exactly what happened, but blood's fairly common in the sport of wrestling, and so it's our first blood time out here.
Seemed like a spot where maybe you might have gotten the eyebrow bump in the forehead kind of deal. It was right off the corner of the eyebrow, it looked like, and a fair amount of blood, at least initially there. The official spotted it right away.
Well, it looks like we're going to have a back and forth match here tonight as we're sitting at the 132 pounds. Osseo currently leads the match 10-9, and I think we've got a crucial match here. This certainly could swing who wins the team score tonight based on what plays out of this match right here.
Working on the eye still of Swenson. You can look at some of the crowd watching this one here. Looks like we're back and ready to go here as G and Swenson back in the center of the mat.
Got 45 seconds left in the first period. G shoots in for a double leg, and they go off the mat as Swenson fights him off. Back to the center here. Both looking for a little hand control. Swenson's controlling his right arm, and G might be looking for a little opening here to get in on another double leg takedown.
And we come to the end of the period here. Just the early 2 and 1 back the other way. Stays at 2-1 for G. Swenson will defer his choice. G is going to choose down to begin period 2.
Swenson jumps on from the right side. G tries a quick stand up, now a switch. Swenson controls his left arm. In a stand-up position, and he escapes for 1 point. Working the edge of the mat right now. Tries to get in on a single, and they go off the mat. They're going to bring it back to the middle here with G leading 3-1. Minute 40 left in the second period. They look for hand control again. Swenson backing up on the mat right now.
Surprisingly, I thought this would be a little more action-packed. They've been kind of countering each other, canceling each other out a little bit.
Still looking for a feel. Swenson gets in for a single, lifts the leg. Let's see if he can execute it for 2 points. Tries front trip, loses control, and G gets back to a neutral position.
So a good flurry of action, no scoring out of it though. G did a pretty good job of being able to hold that off after it looked like Swenson might be able to get the leg sweep.
Look for a single. He's got a close tie up here, and they pull a little bit apart, going head to head. Both have pretty good position, and it's been difficult to get a takedown in this match. So they've shown some good talent from their feet. Both of them are wrestling well right now. So we did have the score wrong earlier when I announced it is a 10-10 team score.
Yeah, major and a fall for each team in the first 4 matchups of the night. And we will come to the end of the period here, and we'll see. Fatigue kind of plays into this a little bit too, and not that one or the other necessarily looks more tired than the other, but I mean, obviously we're not as fresh as they're going to be at the start of the match.
It's been a true battle. Swenson was about to go into the down position, and Maple Grove G chooses to come back neutral, so I'll give 1 point to Swenson. G now leads 3-2. Swenson's going to need a takedown here to stay in the match, get a lead. We haven't seen any stalling yet in the entire match yet. Swenson tries a single. He gets in deep. They're working the edge of the mat right now. And they go off. They're going to come back to the center. Both are going to be up with 1:40 to go. Both looking for hand control, trying to outmaneuver each other, looking for a takedown. The singles and the doubles have been effective. G tries a double and doesn't make it happen. Swenson throws an attempt of a headlock, and they go off the mat.
Good one so far here, and it looks like it's going to come down to the last minute of it here. Still a 3-2 lead for Theo G of Maple Grove here in our 132-pound match.
They're both down on their knees, and I think the fatigue you were talking about earlier, tries a little spin around, doesn't make anything happen. Both wrestling off their knees right now. Now they're coming up to the base. Swenson works the single at the edge of the mat. And G is able to move off the edge, and that's a warning for stalling. Looked as if he appeared to flee from the action there. He gets in on a quick double. Well, it looks like he's moved over to a single. Swenson sprawls, and the ref quickly calls a stalemate.
Yeah, I think this late in the match, I don't mind that stalemate call there. It was obvious not much was going to happen. You want it to be decided by action late.
G starts with a double, moves to a single, trying to spin around for two. And they go with another stalemate there.
So under a half minute to go.
Both looking to try and make something happen here. Swenson in with a single again. Goes down to his knees and hooks the back leg here. I think he's going to have to pop his head out for two. Ref blows whistle for another stalemate.
Swenson trying to come quick out of the whistle. Is he going to get two? No.
And they work to the edge. Swenson's definitely the aggressor there and doesn't get the call.
G is going to hold on for a 3-2 decision here for the Crimson. A little action from earlier on as you got the ankle pick there, and God, that was really the only clean takedown of the match. There you see Maple Grove leading now 13-10 for the first time, and we've got Logan Dick out for Maple Grove. Leo Morris in there for Osseo. Dick is ranked number 8 in the state right now, and obviously going to be considered the big favorite in this one. Two-time state qualifier, 9-3 this year. Quickly gets two.
Quickly gets two, and we'll see what he can do. He's working a Turk for back points right out of the chute here. Morse, first-year wrestler, having some success. I believe this is his first varsity match, but Dick quickly turns him for near fall points here.
These teams know each other pretty well, so lineup adjustments are more than an educated guess, I think, when you're facing somebody that you do have a fair knowledge of the opponent's guys, too.
There's no doubt these guys wrestled with each other a lot. They see each other in in a variety of different tournaments and the duels, and a lot of them grew up being friends, and so they know each other well.
Dick trying to get a turn here. Morris.
He's got the leg split, and he's working a cross face at the same time. We're trying to work for another near fall here.
Now the 3 awarded for Logan.
Quick cradle. Far side cradle to his back again. Working for a fall, and he gets it.
So Maple Grove, 4th win in a row here as Dick gets the pin at 1:28 of the match. Look at how he finishes him, locked that cradle up pretty good.
Yeah, that was a great cradle by Dick. He hooked it up hard and put him on his back. Once he got him put to his back, it was all over.
Go to 145 now, Robert Morgan for Maple Grove.
And this is Isaac Ashman for the Orioles.
And Morgan will get a quick 2.
He's got a quick 2, throws a cradle in and hooks him up. And that's a quick fall there.
Wow, Morgan, who's not a real experienced guy either, comes up with a very quick pin there. Just 18 seconds for the Crimson.
That was good, solid wrestling by Morgan. Nice cradle, hooks the leg and gets the fall. This is Will Sear coming out to the mat at 152 pounds for the Crimson.
Tony Aiken looks like will be coming out for Osseo, is that right?
That's Tony Aiken coming to the mat here. Tony tries to work a quick fireman's. Didn't get much out of that. Both go down to their knees and looking for some control.
Will's one of the captains for Maple Grove. First match of this year, though, due to injury. And he was a section placer a year ago. Tony 5-3 so far this year.
Sear gets takedown for 2 and trying to work on an inside cradle. And a little rolling around on the mat. Aiken working for neutral position. Working across face. Sear in a little bit trouble. He's got his body bunched up underneath Aiken right now. Sear's got the single on and they call a stalemate. Ref does give him 1 for an escape, so he did get into the neutral position there.
Yeah, it was just slowly but surely the shift of, okay, who's really got the better of the positioning here?
They start back in the middle, both up, and Aiken tries a heel pick and doesn't get it to play out. Moves to a left-sided fireman's. Nothing happens there. Sear sprawls out. Try to work a little tip, maybe. When they're both. Sear throws the fireman's and hooks it up into a cradle. He gets 2, and he's looking for back points right now.
Down to under 10 seconds to go in the period, trying to bring him back to his back.
The ref is counting back fall points here.
And he'll get 3, does not get the pin, however, and staying in the match, at least for now, is Aiken, able to fight it off enough to stay alive. 7-1 lead for Sear to begin the second period. Aiken will choose down.
Sear definitely came out in the first period and looked aggressive, made some good things happen. Able to get the quick takedown and put him to his back. Tries to throw a leg in right now. He gets it in and is able to break Aiken down to the mat. See if he can get a tilt here or make something happen. Aiken stay in the match here. He's going to have to get back up to his base. Aiken trying to control an arm. Sear trying to get a tilt going. Maybe a little Turk. Aiken is able to get back up to his base, looking for a little arm control. Sear's getting a little high. He's going to try and stretch the legs out. And he's close to near fall points at this point. He does turn him over to his side. Got to get past that 90 degrees to score any near fall points. He was close, but nothing happened there. Able to stretch the legs out and get Aiken broken down to the mat.
Aiken's still battling, but he's been in a tough spot virtually the entire match. Tough to fight out of this when you've been kind of getting wrenched on all the first 2 periods.
There's no doubt Sear's been the aggressor in the match, and when that happens, most of the time good things happen, and you can tell by the score right now. And the whistle goes, and Sear gets a quick breakdown, flattens Aiken out to the mat.
Not sure they're not both a little bit tired here.
Aiken works his way back up. Sear tries a little arm bar, maybe looking for a tilt here. He's getting up a little high right now, maybe looking to throw a leg in. We'll see what plays out.
He took a quick look at the clock. He sees about 10 seconds remaining to go here, and he might just try and ride him out at this point.
Aiken trying to work for a late second stand up here.
And the period is going to come to an end, and still Sear leading it by a score of 7-1. Keep in mind his first match because he's been injured too, so got to believe the conditioning isn't, probably where it will be later in the year for Will either.
Will's looking great right now. He takes the down position, and for his first time out on the mat, he's definitely looking real nice. And as the year goes on, he'll get in a little bit better shape, and he'll be one to watch at tournament time, I think.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier in the match, but for those just kind of tuning in, definitely some injury bug hitting both teams, probably Osseo even more so. And so, you're not necessarily seeing the lineups that you're going to see come section time, at least, hopefully for the teams if everybody gets healthy. There's still a good match, still a lot of guys giving it their all, but, missing a few of the key cogs, definitely.
There's no doubt there's a lot of talent out on the mat, and there's some sitting in the chairs waiting to get back, get their opportunity to come out and show their hometown teams what they're all about. So they look forward to healthy recoveries and getting back out on the mat here.
Escape given there.
Aiken looks like he kind of gave him up a little bit and trying to score some points, and Sear gets called for a stalling.
Yeah, I don't think there's much doubt. He's pretty gassed right now. And you could see it on his face that he was hoping for a little pause there. Yeah, maybe got one up in the throat area a little bit.
He's struggling to make it back in. The ref blows the whistle, and they're ready to wrestle again. Aiken's going to try and make something happen in the last 50 seconds here, see if he can make a big throw.
Yeah, he's down, but I think it still feels like he has the momentum a little bit just because it's clear that he's got a little more left in the tank right now. But he's going to need to make something happen.
Trying to work a little cow catcher from the front here, see if he can throw him straight to his back, and that's not going to happen. And he's looking to get around the back now, I believe. Sear just holding on to a single, and he gets called for stalling. Aiken picks up a point with 24 seconds to go.
So for a while, it looked like this one might very well be a major decision, but now the trend is kind of going the other way. It's right now at 6 points. Aiken, like to close the match strong, trying to throw there.
Tried a little headlock. He didn't set that up real well, and they end up both down on their knees there. Sear trying to work a last-second takedown. And they're going to end up in a neutral spot there.
So Sear starts strong, fades a little bit at the end, but he still has plenty of points racked up to win at 8-2 for Maple Grove in our 152-pound match. Michael Rengel for Maple Grove.
We got Carson Brosma.
Yep.
Both juniors here, and they're coming out at 160 pounds here.
And the referee is saying the arm wrap on Rengel is not legal, it looks like, or something needs to change with it before they allow him out there. So we thought there was a chance we might see Jabado against Brolsma, but we're not seeing that.
Brosma, last year he was 5th in state, currently ranked 3rd. Off to a great start this year. He's 15-0. The Orioles wrestled Lakeville North earlier in the week, and he come up against a youngster that was ranked 4th in state, and they had a heck of a battle, and Brosma ended up winning in overtime by 1, and they get the match started here.
Brolsma, we should say, ranked 3rd at 145, and he gets the quick takedown here, and that figures to be the way he'll go, I'm assuming, come section time?
Yeah, I believe he'll wrestle at the 145. They've taken advantage of his talent this year, and they've been able to bounce him around and try and get good matchups to help the team out this year. And I would assume when we see late in the season here, he's going to be bouncing back and forth between 52 and 45 most often.
Rengel, his second year out. He's 2-0 on the JV this season, but first varsity match because he's been injured a little bit too. So it's been kind of a common trend for these teams early on here. Brolsma, to me, it feels like he's been wrestling for the Orioles for about 10 years now. I've been calling his name over the several-year span. And still just a junior.
Certainly fun to watch. He definitely broke into the lineup as a seventh grader, and he's working his way towards the all-team win record in Osseo history. So it'll be fun to watch him over the next couple years to see if he can get 40-plus wins each year to break the record that was set by Adam Hammer.
Takedown here for Brolsma. Yeah, great wrestling tradition, obviously, at Osseo over the years.
Brolsma quickly works an armbar half, looking for a tilt here.
Throwing the legs in now, too, and he has got Rengel in a tough spot. Stretching him out.
Getting near fall points at this point. I'm not sure it's a pin move unless he makes some adjustments in his body. He's getting closer to the mat at this point, and they do call fall.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. At first, it's going to be tough to pin him from there, but Brolsma thought otherwise. He stuck with it, and he ends up getting the pin for the Orioles.
And there's the fall. Carson works hard year-round at keeping his wrestling skills in line, and he's a fun wrestler to watch.
Jabado coming in here for Maple Grove. And not sure Osseo is going to have an opponent for him. Looks like not. They're going to forfeit, and Doe will get the forfeit win here for the Crimson. And so we'll zip ahead to 182.
Crimson out front now, and the team score 34-16. And we're going to look for a battle at the heavyweights coming up here. This is Michael Lillis. He's a sophomore for the Orioles. And I believe this is Billy Hebert.
Yeah, it looks like Hebert will be out here for the Crimson. He's a junior. Hebert's second year out. 2-6 on the year, but 2-0 in conference matches. So always nice to find that little nugget that gives him a little good feeling there. And Lillis won 6 matches last year, 6-3, but he's had a little bit of a tough start this year on varsity. 1 win so far.
And they tie up, and they're working in the center of the mat right now, both looking for hand control and a little position, see if they can get a takedown. Both looking for inside position. Lillis tries to work a double at the edge of the mat, and they go off. They're coming back to the center right now. And they tie up, both looking for control right now. Both looking for inside position. They're pushing back and forth.
Yeah, it almost has the feel of like a heavyweight type match, the way they've been working, just upper body pushing back and forth.
As you get up into the 180s, the matches change from when you're down at the 106-pound style. So it's about hanging on the head, trying to tire your guy out, get their knees down to the mat, and work for control. Maybe look for an early roll.
And a cradle locked up here. Hebert.
He's looking for a quick pin in the first here.
And he's going to get it just before the buzzer. Let's see. Is it over or not? I'm not sure. He's going to check with the timekeeper here. Ooh, looks like it might not be a pin.
They're not calling the pin there. They're going to go into the second period.
Maple Grove not liking that one.
Lillis getting a break there. Habert come out, took him down, and put him on the back.
And Troy Seibert coming and asking him for a discussion. Now, I have to admit, you can't see the clock, but to me, the pin definitely beat him being tapped by the timekeeper guy out on the mat. Now, whether the clock had actually hit 0.
Yeah, I was trying to keep an eye on both, and definitely the tap was a second late. I think the referee made the correct call, but we'll see how the match continues here. And Habert's aggressiveness, Lillis is going to have to elevate his game to stay in.
One thing a little different, of course, when you've got multiple mats going, you can't go by the sound of the buzzer, as you might be able to if it were just, a section match, say, where you're section final and you got one clock going, so you can use that full volume buzzer and kind of give the official a little bit of an oral indication of when it hit 0 also.
There's no doubt it makes it more difficult when you got a number of mats going on, the whistle's blowing from a variety of different places. Wilson comes in and he gets a 2-point takedown.
Boy, this would be big for Osseo if they could. It would look like they might be going to be pinned, turn around and come back and win this one. And obviously there's an opportunity to do so for Lillis.
He's high right now, and Habert's working to turn him over for a reversal and loses control and back down to the mat. Lillis got him flattened out. But there's no doubt if Lillis could come back, put a half in and turn him, that would be a big change of events for the Orioles here tonight. Got him flat on the mat, trying to get a half in. He's got his head down, he's got his body weight on him here. And I think this is a nice little matchup of equally talented wrestlers. So anything can happen in this here match.
You know, it's interesting too, Chad, we were talking earlier about just how many injuries there are and everything, but really when you get right down to it, when you're looking at the results from this year, there's no asterisk. You don't get to say we were missing these guys or whatever. I mean, the result is the result, and when it comes time to seeding sections and things like that, so for both teams, that's certainly the case. And injuries are a part of it. Sickness is a part of it. Skin issues sometimes can be a part of it. And so you have to. That's where your depth comes in.
That's the great thing about the sport of wrestling is you never know what's going to happen day to day, from sickness to injuries, illnesses, and again, both teams have gaps in their lineups. And what you do is you figure it out the day of. Even tonight we've watched the adjustments play out as the lineup's gone on tonight. And you know what? They're all out here to compete. They're having a lot of fun. And there is a lot of strategy behind it. And right now, Maple Grove's got the upper hand.
And that's where a lot of teaching in the wrestling room comes into play, too, because you might have a guy who's not that experienced, but if he can lose by 6 points instead of getting pinned, you're going to give yourself a lot better chance.
No doubt. You're right on that. Only giving up 3 sometimes can win the team a match. I know all the wrestlers out here work hard not to go to their back and get pinned.
Spinning around here, Abert will get 2. And trying to chin drop him here.
Quickly throws him to his back, working with a pin. He's got a lot of time.
Little precarious on the grip, it seems like, but yeah, and he is going to lose it there. He just had one of his arms, he had the shoulder pretty well. The other one, he just kind of had the bicep, and it's tough to hold him in that spot. So 10-3 lead now.
Back in the neutral position here. Lillis keeps coming off his back, which is real nice, but Abert's definitely been taking it to him and been able to put him on his back and score a lot of points, racking up 10, with a minute to go in the third.
182-pounders here. Maple Grove leads on the team board 34-16. And they thought they had a pin right at the end of the first period by Billy Hebert. But it was ruled it came just late, and Lillis found new life. And here he shoots in hard on a single, and he's going to get 2.
He's going to get 2 and look for some backfall points. He's got the leg split and brings him to his back. Abert kind of trying to roll through it here. Hooking it up with a little headlock. We'll see if he can tighten it up. They're off the edge of the mat, so there won't be a pin here unless he's able to bring him back on. Quickly works his feet off, and that's it. They've got to come back to the center.
Does get 3, though, near fall. Only 10 seconds to go, though. It could be set up for a wild ending here, that's for sure. See if he's going to try for a quick turn or if he think about cutting him and going for one big move, but
he
too
jumps
late.
on from the right side and comes out in front. He's going to have to look for a quick throw here. Tries maybe an attempt at a single or fireman's there and doesn't get it.
Well, it isn't the pin that Maple Grove thought they had, but they will take a decision there. Billy Hebert, 11-8 victory here over Matthew Lillis at 182. Here's a look at when it looks like for a moment Lillis might get pinned here and later in the match, and he just can't quite get him. And looks like we are going to have another forfeit here, perhaps. 195. So no opponent there for Maple Grove.
I think this is Tahi Nomi coming out for the Crimson. And he's going to be matched up against Hamza Salte for the Orioles. I think we're going to see a nice matchup here. These are two big boys with a lot of muscle, both fairly inexperienced, and so excited to see what's playing out.
And they will go off the edge here.
They've got a tie up here, both looking for a little head control. Salty just returning to action here for the Orioles, and he quickly gets taken down by Nomain. Able to get back to his base quickly.
Nomain had a great year on the football field as a running back for the Crimson. Both these teams had great football seasons, really strong, both in the state tournament.
Football seasons were a lot of fun to watch here, and both of these big guys were out on the football field for their respective teams. Little cow catcher being tried by Salty, Hamza Salty, and No Main's got some big pipes on him, and he's able to get out of that position.
Coming full speed ahead there. You do sometimes see, and you know, it's a great thing that Tahi Nomain's out here in wrestling and everything, but sometimes you see a guy with that much natural ability, you think, gosh, if he had only started earlier. You know, it's just, it's a sport that you can work your way into and do okay at, but if you don't have all that mat time in your background, it makes it a little bit harder to really be good.
Mat time's important. Typically these guys come out, and it takes a year or two to get a handle on a few moves that they can learn to execute. Right at the last second, Nomain gets quick takedown for 2.
And if the period had gone on longer, he almost went to his back right there.
Yeah, I've got a feeling if one of them goes to the back here with the strength of both of these guys, it could be over. So either one's going to want to make a mistake and let the other guy hook it up while they're on their back. Salty's in the down position as they start the second. Nomain gets on, and he gets a caution there. Salty tries stand up.
He will get the escape.
Salty trying to work a single, and they go down, both down near their knees. Really not a lot happening there. It's a real battle of muscle here tonight. And Salty does get the takedown. Just a little slide duck under there, and he gets his 2.
Evens things up here now, trying to throw in a half. But Nomain will get an escape, and he retakes the lead at 5-4.
They're back in the neutral position, both looking for some control here. Trying to gain hand control. Salty's able to get head control and quickly switches over to a single and brings him down, trying to find a 2-point takedown here.
Doesn't have any points yet, though. If he can pop his head back out, but instead it looks like Nomain.
Nomain is able to break Salty down and looking for the 2. They're both kind of side by side, and Salty brings his arm around and able to pick up the 2 points.
So he grabs the lead here, half minute to go in the second.
Nomain stands up and gets a quick escape.
And Nomain is very tired at the moment. And Salty trying to come forward at him.
You know, early in the season like this on these big guys, it's conditioning can certainly win you a match. And so as they go into the third period, we'll see what happens.
Nomain was given a stalling caution because he was backing straight up. And the period's going to come to an end before any more scoring can happen. 6-6. Been an entertaining one. There's no doubt Nomain is tired. I think Salty definitely is a little bit too, although not showing it quite as much. It's fun because they're both strong, a little athletic, a little inexperienced, so at times you see a mistake or two, but it's still been a fun one to watch.
2 great guys out here battling it out tonight at Osseo High School. Between the inner rivals, Maple Grove and Osseo. Salty able to quickly break him down and ties up an arm, looking for a half.
He's been unsuccessful with it earlier, but he's coming back to it again. It looked like for a second there he might get him.
Nomain's so strong, he comes right up off the ground and able to get an escape.
Evens us up at 7 apiece. A lot of time to go. And see, Nomain's backing straight up. He's going to be careful. He'll get another stall. He at least needs to circle. It might not take any more. Yeah, we're going to get the point awarded. He's just backing away.
Nomain trying to hold on right now. He's going to have to come out and look for a takedown here. Green takes down. Salty gets the choice there, and he goes down.
And a caution, I think, on the start.
And
another point awarded to Osseo. Nomain.
He's having a hard time coming down into the referee's position, I believe, and able to put his hands in the right spot. He's got to put his right hand directly on the belly there, and he's got another caution. And that's a 2-pointer. If it happens again, he's disqualified.
And the official is going to come over and going to make sure that they're, eventually it got to a 2-point after the multiple stall.
And it looks
okay.
Not exactly sure how that played out. Maybe another caution for disqualification.
Multiple stalls called, and Salty will end up winning.
That was a battle all the way through. That was a good match. Both tired, and maybe some of the lack of experience there cost him. I think we were in for a good run on the last minute 28 there. Coaches gather at the head table.
Maple Grove with as big, with as big a lead as they have, that they mind it quite as much. You're in a spot where, to be perfectly blunt about it, it isn't the referee's fault that Nomain doesn't have that much experience in terms of, what I mean? You can't really give the benefit of the doubt because somebody isn't sure how to start.
There's no doubt it's varsity match, and, those are the things you got to learn in the wrestling room. Unfortunately, that lack of experience when you make it up to the varsity level can cost you. We've got Doug Sorrentino out here for the Orioles. I believe this is Alex Nelson for the Crimson. And both looking for head control here. Sarantino for the Orioles getting some mat time for the Orioles last few weeks. And Nelson's been on and off throughout the years for the Crimson. So
yeah, he's had an okay start, 6-5 for them.
That's a fabulous start. Both a couple inexperienced wrestlers here. I think they've wrestled for the last couple years each, and so should be a fun one to finish off the match, team match tonight, as they both are trying to get a feel of each other's wrestling styles, trying to gain a little head control, maybe tire the other guy down as we work our way through the first period. This would definitely set Maple Grove up nice as we come into the seedings for the tournament to take a big win over Osseo tonight.
Osseo last year did make it all the way to the section final on the team portion. And they have that as their goal this year coming in. I mean, to an extent, it might not look like it tonight, but again, with all the injuries and other guys out of the lineup, isn't a stretch. I mean, I think both teams, it isn't a section where you have any real dominant teams. So I think there's some hope in the gyms and for a lot of teams. Like if everything falls right, we could be in the mix.
There's no doubt that Maple Grove, Osseo expect to be in the mix. You can watch from Champlain Park and Mounds View to be around. I think the teams are real evenly matched out in this section here this year, and so who knows what's going to happen as it comes tournament times. The team definitely who's most healthy may come out of this section this year.
And Centennial would have to be mentioned in that group, I would think.
Centennial's always around. If you watch them on JV, you watch them varsity, there's no doubt that Centennial will be looking to go to the state as they have in the past few years. But look for some of these up-and-coming teams that haven't been around for a while. They're going to be there to battle them.
Nelson trying to throw a headlock on, and who's got him? Yes, Nelson ends up with control.
Nelson ends up with control and looking for a quick pin here. He's got it. He finishes it off tonight with a fall.
So about the midway point of the second period, gets the pin for the Crimson to put the finishing touches on a victory here for Maple Grove. And once he got him to the back, as you said earlier, it's a lot of weight to try and fight off, and Nelson ends up with the pin. So good match tonight here, and again, a little short-handed on both sides, especially for Osseo right now, but Maple Grove getting the victory here, and best of luck to both of these teams as the season goes on. Again, Chad, thanks for your help, and pretty entertaining match. I mean, even though some of the guys didn't have a lot of experience, they fought hard, there's no doubt.
There's no doubt. These guys came in and battled each other, and Maple Grove ended up taking it to the Orioles tonight. And as the season goes on, watch these guys come back and wrestle in the big tourney and see if one of them can make it to state.
So Maple Grove scores the win here tonight as the first of this quad meet goes on. That'll do it for our coverage here tonight from Osseo High School. The final score is Maple Grove 49, Osseo 22. For Chad Lanners and all of our crew, I'm Jay Wilcox. Good night from Osseo.